deep in the heart of every single honeybee hive, there's a story playing out. A story of power, of sacrifice, and, believe it or not, of destiny. It all comes down to a single decision that can make or break an entire kingdom. So, how on earth do bees choose their queen? Well, let's dive in. Okay, so picture this. You've got a kingdom with tens of thousands of citizens, almost all of them female, and they're all working for one single purpose. At the top, one ruler, the queen. But what happens when she dies, or she leaves? Suddenly, the throne is empty, and the entire colony is thrown into chaos. It's a full-blown succession crisis.
And the stakes here? They couldn't be higher. Just look at this contrast. It is absolutely incredible. A worker bee, if she's born in the summer, she lives for a brutal 6 weeks, pretty much working herself to death. The queen, on the other hand, can live for 5 years, and in that time, she's laying up to 2,000 eggs a day. It's a life of grueling labor versus a life of absolute power.
So when that queen is gone, a clock starts ticking, and fast. The hive has no one to lay the eggs that will become the next generation of bees. Without a replacement, the colony is just doomed. They have to create a new queen, and they have to do it now. So how in the world do they pull this off? Well, they turn to this substance that is, frankly, nothing short of miraculous: royal jelly. It's this bitter, milky stuff that comes from a gland in the worker bees' heads, and it is the secret weapon for creating a new monarch. And this slide right here shows you just how potent this stuff is. I mean, royal jelly is basically a bee superfood. It is packed with proteins, B vitamins, minerals, even acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter that we humans use for things like muscle control and learning. It is, quite literally, the recipe for royalty. But you have to wonder, right? Inside this complex cocktail, is there one single component that holds all the power? A secret ingredient that can take a totally normal larva and completely rewrite its destiny? The bees know the answer. So here's how it all goes down. For the first 3 days of their lives, every single larva gets a little taste of this royal treatment. But then comes what you could call the Great Divide. Most of them are switched over to a normal diet of honey and pollen, but a chosen few, just a select group, they get to continue gorging on pure royal jelly. And this exclusive diet is what triggers this profound biological change, developing the ovaries they need to become a queen. So after this intense period of development, sealed away in their wax cells, these potential queens are finally ready. And the very first one to break free. She immediately begins a ruthless campaign. Her first act as royalty is to hunt down her sisters, the other potential queens, and kill them while they're still trapped and totally helpless in their cells. In this kingdom, there can be only one. It's a brutal system, for sure, but it's effective. But it makes you think, what if the timing is just perfect? What happens if two ambitious royals break out of their cells at the exact same moment? Then the hive becomes an arena. The two queens will fight, a vicious duel, to the death. The winner takes the throne. The loser is just forgotten. It's the ultimate winner-take-all showdown. So this brings us to a really fascinating question. We've seen how a queen gets made, but how do the worker bees actually choose which larvae get the royal treatment in the first place? For a long, long time, scientists just figured it was totally random. I mean, they're all genetically identical. But is it really just a lottery? And this gets us to a big scientific debate. So on one hand, you have theory 1, random chance. Any larva could be picked. It's just luck of the draw. But then there's theory 2, which suggests something more is going on. The idea here is that some larvae might have a tiny genetic edge, maybe higher levels of certain proteins that boost their metabolism, making them seem like stronger, more vigorous candidates for the throne. And you know what? That second theory got a huge boost back in 2011. A study came out and found that the larvae that were destined to become queens did, in fact, have higher levels of exactly those metabolic proteins. So it kind of seems like there might be a subtle destiny written into their genes after all. But that wasn't the only breakthrough. Remember that secret ingredient we were talking about before? That mysterious trigger inside the royal jelly? Well, scientists finally found it. It turns out it's a single protein called royal actin, and when they isolated it, they found this one compound has the power to do it all. It triggers the entire cascade of development that turns a common worker bee into a queen. It's the key that unlocks a larva's royal potential.
And incredibly, this discovery also happened in 2011. So in a single year, our whole understanding of this royal mystery took two gigantic leaps forward, revealing secrets that were hidden in both the bee itself and in its food.
So, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story of biology and power? It's that for a honeybee, destiny isn't just about what you're born with, it's about what you're fed. In the hive, you don't just eat for fuel, you eat to determine your entire existence. You literally become what you eat.